Welcome back to an SCTV. The second video of today, as I am on my way to Vespers, called Vespers Thoughts. And basically, my thought of today, really my thought of the past week, scratch that, the past few days has been sort of musing, if you will, about demons. Kind of been thinking about how demons play a role in our world, and it's quite interesting to ponder how demons really play into the world. Now, granted, you may not believe in them. I would say they're real, very real. And I've heard stories about demons. I don't know how true they are, and I don't even know if I believe those stories. But you hear about exorcisms if you, I guess, do a little searching. It's not just like you hear about, oh yeah, Jim got an exorcist to come to the house yesterday or something like that. Oh, I got my exorcism I've been waiting for. You don't hear about it like that. But there are stories, kind of like ghost stories out there about them, and like I said, I don't know if I believe them. But that being said, I still wonder about demons, and I don't think they're just figurative things that you struggle with as a person. I wouldn't call those demons necessarily. You know, people say, oh, I've got my demons, and I don't think that's a good term to call those problems or struggles, because when you hear about the stories about demons, and when you read about them in the scriptures, you could say, oh yeah, he had his demons too. But those things don't compare. Usually people say, I have my demons, as in things that they've experienced, things that bother them, either about themselves or about the world, perhaps. But ultimately, I would say those shouldn't be called demons. I think that's not the right word for that. Problems is fine, or struggles. But demons, it's kind of it's just not the right term, I think. So, I don't know a lot about demons as far as demonology goes. I've seen a few videos from people claiming they've cast out demons and stuff. I've heard stories about, on podcasts and stuff, about Roman Catholic priests who are exorcists, and we all know the movie The Exorcist and whatever stories surround that. We've all heard about that, and really, it's fascinating to me, because I have had some instances where, I think, man, there's gotta be some demons or something pestering this person, or even myself. And I've thought that genuinely. And the reason I think of that, the reason that comes to mind, is the nature of what's happening. Because I know that certain things are not from myself. Certain pesky thoughts or something that come up out of nowhere. It's kind of odd that things would come out of nowhere for people, and the nature of that sort of randomness, I think, could be a demon or more sort of throwing something at you. And again, this is just sort of speculation, because we can't know exactly, but it's cool to think about, I guess. Nonetheless, so that's my first sort of theory about what demons do, is they throw temptations or kind of pesky things at people. And I don't know if they possess people like is depicted in pop culture or whatever, but I think they can infiltrate people's minds. I think that Satan uses them to do that. Believers and non-believers alike, I think that can be an issue from time to time or continually. I honestly think that some people may be affected by the devil, the king of demons, from time to time, or always, because they don't have the knowledge of Christ. They don't even have the knowledge of Christ. They don't even understand what Christianity is about. And they may attack Christianity, or they may just refuse to consider it, having faith and going towards Christ, because they do not have the right mind or soul yet. I think that could be demonic, essentially. It's sort of a hampering put on them by some forces outside themselves. Now, that's also speculation. That's just could be a theory, if you will. I think there are people who are just don't want any part of faith at all, let alone religion or Christ especially, and so they attack the faith, they attack Christians, or they attack Christ in terrible ways, in word mostly, but still. And they do terrible things in their lives because they don't know the right way. That may not be demonic, but it's just the way of a lot of unbelievers, especially the anti-theists, the very angry atheists, if you will. So, demonic or not, I think it could be both. I think that sort of scenario of a non-believer being essentially anti-Christ, or just, if you want to use that as a descriptor, antichrist, not like a title, but how they act and think and say, that could either be demonic or just them. But it's not hard to believe that they could be both, as in they started on this path, and Satan, if you will, this demon the celebrities in Hollywood are demonic or satanic, but that's kind of more the fringe ideas. Although I will say, lately, as in thinking about demons and thinking about history and the way in which we see the things we see every day in the news and the things that the entertainment industries push, it gets me thinking perhaps there's truth, some, or 100% truth to that idea that the media, news, entertainment, pop culture have all been infiltrated by at least demonic influence. Maybe not Satan is running it sort of thing, but if you read the stories from the scriptures, I don't think that serpent went anywhere. It doesn't say he did. It says God punished him, essentially. Made him very low. And the serpent is almost always interpreted to be Satan. It's not hard to see. I think he's still at large. I mean, I know he's at large. That's according to the scriptures as well. Yet it's not as if it's the end times yet. It may be. Again, speculation. Different opinions on that. Even in the Orthodox Church, there are different opinions on that. And now, to the degree which they are, it could vary. And it's not a dogma or anything to one way or the other. I think most Orthodox are just focused on living the Christian life, their lives, and others, not the end times. It wouldn't make any difference, except there would be more persecution of us. That's happened throughout the ages, so it's gotten better though in a lot of regards. So there could be a difference in opinion or ideas or theorizing in my church, in Christianity, about that, about the end times and if we are in them or not. I think I'm not sure. I won't say because I don't know. But there's another interesting sort of tie into demonic and satanic things that has been in the back of my mind for probably a year now, and that is witchcraft. Probably more than a year now because of some things I've heard. Witchcraft it's evil, truly, because in, I believe it was Exodus or maybe in Leviticus, one of those, or Deuteronomy, I don't quite remember. God commands his people to not use spirits other than God for anything, and things like palm readings and mediums. You know, Long Island Medium, you know that show? She thinks she's a Christian? No way, not at all, because clearly we are not supposed to participate in speaking to the dead. That's prohibited in there, as well as witchcraft. So if you go to a medium to speak to the dead, essentially hear what they say, that's a no-no, and we should all understand that. There has to be something weird. Now, maybe not, it's not like a demon speaking to you, but it could be, you know, false hope, false this, false that, because we as Orthodox pray for our departed ones, those who have fallen asleep in the Lord. pray for salvation even, and sort of that thing. But we don't pray to them ever, and we don't pray to speak to them. We're not supposed to. So, and things like Day of the Dead in Mexico, that's a pagan, very strong, it's obviously a pagan meshing of Catholicism with the Mayan, the local kind of Aztec, I think, maybe. Yeah, Aztec, I think it was Aztec. Mythologies, beliefs, rituals, etc. We don't speak to the dead. It's from the Old Testament on. No, none of that. Using people who claim to be mediums, using magic. Magic is witchcraft, essentially. Using things that, forces that are not of God, you know, besides praying to God to accomplish things or to have secret knowledge and secret this and that. It's magic, it's witchcraft, it doesn't matter. It's mediuming, it's all essentially, it's just forbidden now, as far as if it's really, it's just forbidden, you know. I'm just going to leave it at that. And I've heard stories of witchcraft, and the people who've claimed it to use it are not good people, plain and simple. I mean, that's just, they came from bad backgrounds, which is not the bad thing. The bad thing is they rejected Christ completely, and as an Orthodox, I cannot see their heart or anything like that, but the fruits that they're producing, I mean, my Lord, it wasn't good. And again, about judging, I've talked about, I think, way back when, judging is saying, the way I would say is, well, judging is judging someone's salvation, like eternal whatever. We never do that. But if we look at the fruit these people are producing, we look at how their lives have gone, and the actions, if they're doing things that are strictly forbidden, we know they're not Christians. It's very simple. Because Christianity is not just, it's not blending with paganism. Although arguably there have been pagan things that have been essentially absorbed and or changed by Christianity throughout the ages, but it doesn't mean we have to stick with those or anything. But we're talking about like witchcraft and stuff. You can't mix that with Christianity. You can't claim to be a Christian, use witchcraft, and rely on mediums and this and that. It's just tarot cards and sort of things with satanic influences. We should always be mindful of the things of God first and foremost, and always, and the things of His church. Because God does use what was bad for good at times. We've seen that throughout the scriptures, and kind of all the people that God ended up having in to be His people. They had bad starts, you know. So God can turn things around for His glory and His sanctification, I think. Yeah, I think so. But you get what I'm saying. However, we shouldn't mix paganism, blatant pagan things, with our faith. We should, or magic also. Magic's a big one. Praying to false gods, you know, worshiping things other than God. I've heard some stuff, people saying they use witchcraft, they've done witchcraft, and it's best to avoid that. Those are my thoughts on witchcraft and demons, though, and maybe as I learn more about demons specifically, I'll talk about them in the future. But for now, I'll wrap it up and say, peace be with you all. May the Lord show you the way to Himself and open your eyes to Him. And glory to Christ, our God. And have a great week, a great Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, on and on. And I will see you in the next episode.